Okay, sit yourself onto your lift and then come into a good cross-legged position. Just feel that you can find levelness at the seat bones. Just have a little wiggle about. Make sure that you feel genuinely level at the seat bones, and sometimes that takes a little while to fully establish. So hold onto your knees. Elevate the heart area upwards, consciously drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Take deep inhalations in through the nose and out through the nose. Filling the lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying the lungs from the top to the bottom. Just look at something that doesn't move, so that your eyes remain still in the sockets. Just focusing on filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, breathing into both lungs evenly. And that doesn't always happen straight away. So just breathe consciously into both lungs evenly. Release your hands, bring your hands into Namaste. Press the palms firmly together, lengthen from your armpits into the elbows, from the elbows into the heels of your hands, from the heels of your hands into the fingertips. And with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Continue to fill the lungs from the bottom to the top, and consciously emptying them from the top to the bottom. Just spend some time at the seat bones observing the levelness. If you feel unlevel, then just adjust after sitting there for a little while. Just at the feet, at the seat bones, just bring in that levelness. Just set in your balance just from the seated position, being conscious of the seat bones in contact with the lift. When you're sure of your levelness, then take a deep inhalation, and with the following exhalation, draw your chin forwards and down to meet your chest. Lift your chest up to meet your chin, Jalandhara Bandha. And spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area. And then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees. Have the backs of your hands on your knees, have the palms upwards, and then connect the index fingers with the tips of the thumb. A gesture of wisdom, of physical intelligence. Physical intelligence is the ability to feel the body in 3 dimensions, being able to tell whether the seat bones are level or not. Is a good starting point, is a good tuning into the physical intelligence. So, wisdom, physical intelligence, and peacefulness that we can carry into our practice as an intention. Wisdom, physical intelligence, and peacefulness. Raise your head, allow your eyes to gently open and the focus to gently come back. So hold onto your knees and just observe that simple action. Is it a grip? Are you working with determination and fierceness? Or can you work with ahimsa, that sense of non-violence, of peacefulness for the physical body? So non-violence to each other, of course, but especially in the practice, non-violence to ourselves. So there should never be the sense that you're punishing the body. You're just using the pose to extend. You might be extending further and more deeply than you did yesterday, but it's never a physical punishment. It's always an exploration. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across, observing how your body responds to the pose. Maybe there's very little response, so observe for the minutiae. But perhaps there is a response, maybe there's resistance. So observe that resistance. Acknowledge the resistance and respect it. But then draw your attention beyond the resistance into areas of the body that present little or no resistance. And then just observe how the perception of the initial resistance changes. Maybe it becomes less intense, but we still need to respect that resistance nonetheless. Use each subsequent exhalation to gently extend a little more deeply into the turn. And then come back to the center. Hold onto the knees, observe how the body has changed. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left. Observing the balance of the seat bones, observing the body's response to the pose, if there is any resistance, if that resistance is different on this side. So if you find that you roll over onto the left seat bone more heavily than the right, then adjust the position of the torso between the two hips so that there is an almost perceivable lightness at the hips rather than a heaviness on one side. Breathe in through the nose. Again, just observing, are you working to punish the physical body, or are you working with observation? Activation needs observation. They feed each other. Observation leads to activation, which leads to new observation, into new action, into new observation. So it's almost like a dramaturgy of action. Come back to the centre. Come off your lift and sit back on your heels. Just sit back on your heels. Just feel that the shins make good contact with the floor. Press the shins consciously into the floor so that the thighs activate. Press the shin bone consciously into the shin skin. Lift up into the chest. And then come forwards, keeping the shins firmly attached to the floor, stretching your arms forwards, feeling the backs opening up. From the forehead down. If you lose contact between the seat bones and your heels, then put a folded blanket between the seat bones and the heels. Or a block. Or have a block underneath your head. Just anything that you need to keep those seat bones down, so that then you can turn the tailbone in, down towards the floor. So yesterday we were bringing the cow pose, baddangulyasana, into the standing poses. So this, if you like, is the cat pose. We're turning the tailbone in. We're allowing the back to round a little, but we're still extending it forwards. Come up onto your knees, turn your toes under. Come up into dog down. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Just feel how the pose feels for you this morning. Tighten the kneecaps. Press the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees. Lift the fronts of the thighs upwards towards the top of the leg. Turn the fronts of the thighs consciously inwards. And then lift the seat bones away from the backs of the thighs. Try and press the front rim of the pelvis into the tops of the legs. Draw the belly button to the spine. Draw the lower ribs towards the spine. Keep pressing the hands firmly into the floor. Breathe in long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations, just observing how your body responds now. If it's giving adverse effects, then respond to those, come out of the pose. If the pose is ineffective, come out of the pose, but if you can stay and maintain, then do. So this pose is good for the liver. It's a really good pose for observation of the breath. Step your feet forwards, come up into a standing position, and then bring your feet as wide apart as your mat. Have a couple of blocks for your hands for half uttanasana. So bring your feet in, toes in line with each other, and the heels in line with the edge of the mat. Little toes in line with the edge of the mat. Have your hands on your hips and just feel that your heel is in contact with the edge of the mat. Tighten your kneecaps, turn the fronts of the thighs consciously inwards. That action of turning the thighs inwards gives you space in the hips. Lift up into the chest, lift the heart area, and then hinge at the hips. Come forwards, hinging at the hips, lifting those seat bones away from the backs of the thighs, and then bring the fingertips onto the blocks. So it might be too high, but it's better than being too low. Too high gives you good access into the physical body. So just observe for a moment the action of your legs. Are they lifting out of the floor, or are they collapsing down to the floor? So lift the shins out of the ankle socket. Lift the kneecaps away from the shins. Lift the thighs up away from the kneecaps. Lifting the thighs all the way up into the hip socket. Turn the fronts of the thighs inwards. Are the legs working evenly? Or is one leg working more willingly than the other? If you've got evenness of action, then go down a little lower. But let that acknowledgement of the evenness of action be the thing that helps you to know that you can go down to the next level. Projecting the chin and the chest consciously forwards, but activating the legs first. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath, aiming to activate those legs with conscious evenness. Hitting the legs back so that your weight goes into your heels. Bring your hands into your hips and then come up into a standing position. Come into Tadasana, inner edge of the feet, touching, big toes touching, lifting up into the chest. So just spend a moment in Tadasana, just observing how the body has changed, how your energy has changed. Listen to the breath. Has the breath changed? Has your consciousness of the breath changed? Feel like you are lifting out of the feet into the shins, from the shins into the kneecaps, from the kneecaps up into the thighs, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. Tuck the tailbone in slightly. Draw the belly button to the spine, draw the lower ribs to the spine, lift the heart area. Draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Bring your arms out nice and wide in towards your chest, and then step or jump your feet nice and wide for trikonasana. And then turn your left toes in, your right leg and foot all the way out. Just being mindful of aligning this foot with the instep or the toes of the back foot. Never in line, never heel in line with the heel. I want you to turn this leg, turn it distinctly, turn this leg, but the front leg especially. It's the opposite turn to Tadasana. Turn the leg outwards, reach down, find the shin, and look up. Turning the front of the thigh, turning the abdomen up to the ceiling, reaching up to the ceiling, breathing in and out through the nose. Just seeing the body in 3 dimensions through the feeling of the pose. Feel how the feet connect to the ground. Feel how the feet connect to the ground and lift out of the feet into the shins, into the knees, into the thighs, into the hips, up into the spine. Reach up with the top hand, come back to the center, swap your feet around, turn the right toes in, the left leg and foot all the way out. So a quick look down, make sure that the heel is in line with the instep or the toes. And then turn these legs outwards from the front, from the big toe side to the little toe side. Especially the front leg, but keeping that action in the back leg as well. Reach down, find the shin, look up. Just feel where the body is in 3 dimensions through the observance of the feeling of the pose. Observance, is that word? Maybe I just made that up. Observation, you know what I mean? Observance, I think that is a word, isn't it? And then come back to the centre, bring the feet parallel, and then step or jump your feet back together, come back into Tadasana, just observing again how the body feels, observing how the body has changed. And then just listen to the breath, listen to the inhalation and the exhalation. Come on, Arthur. Listening to the inhalation and the exhalation. Filling the lungs from the bottom to the top. Stretch your arms forwards, interlock the fingers, turn the palms all the way out, and then raise your arms over your head. Urdhva, baddangulyasana. Just release your arms, swap the interlock of the fingers so the other index finger is on the top of the stack, and then turn the palms all the way out. Raise your arms over your head. Keep the legs hitting back so that your weight is in your heels. Keep the fronts of the thighs turning inwards. Then turn the tailbone in without disturbing the legs. Draw the abdomen to the spine. Draw the lower ribs to the spine. Lift the heart area. Draw the shoulders away from your ears. So there's many juxtapositions. Lengthen from the armpits into the elbows, into the wrists, into the palms, into the fingertips. And then release your arms. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Again, just observing difference in the feeling of the body. Maybe there's warmth in the shoulders, in the arms. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Bring your arms out nice and wide, in towards your chest, and then step, or what goes wide as you can. Step or jump the feet as wide as you can for prasarita, padottanasana. Turn your toes in, and then tighten the kneecaps. Tighten the kneecaps. And lift out the hips and up into the armpits. Wing your elbows back so that the shoulder blades gather behind you. Like that cow pose, lift the seat bones away from the backs of the thighs. Keep the chest lifted, keep the head lifted. Come forwards with a straight back into the halfway point and then reach down. If you can't reach, then use some blocks. But be on fingertips. Always be on fingertips. So just find yourself, orientate yourself within the pose. Look forwards, project the chin and the chest forwards. But feel where your legs are. Feel where your weight is in your feet. Is it in the toes? Everyone just push your weight forward so that your weight goes into your toes. Then all of your weight goes into your hands, doesn't it? Or can you hit your legs back until your weight goes into your heels? And then project the chin and the chest forwards. Observe the lightness in the arms. You can lengthen from the armpit into the hands, from the wrists up into the armpits. If you can straighten your back at this stage, then you can go into the next stage. If you're using blocks under your hands, or if you're still working to straighten your back, just stay at this stage. Keep working the legs as we've been doing. Keep working the chest as we've been doing. Otherwise, keep the back straight, hinging entirely from the hips. And then bring the chest forwards and the head down onto the floor. If your head doesn't reach the floor, then you can put a block underneath your head or a cushion. Just give yourself that little extra lift. Lift the floor to your head if you can't reach. So stay in the pose and observe where your balance is in your heels. Is it in your heels, or has your weight transferred forwards into the toes? Hit the legs back so that your weight is in your heels. Have the heels of your hands in line with the heels of the feet. Push the hands into the floor like you're going to kick up into a headstand. We're not going to do that, but as if you were. Push the hands into the floor and almost feel like you want to slide them either side of your ears. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Just focusing on how the breath changes. Just see the body in 3 dimensions through the feeling of the pose, whichever version of the pose you were doing. Just be there, observing how the pose changes as you stay. Okay, lift your head, come back to the center if you're still there. And then bring the heels of that, just reset for a moment, just in the center, and then bring the heels of the hands down, bend your knees, and then step or jump your feet back together, and then come up into Tadasana. Just feel again how the body has changed. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. Just let the breath settle. And then raise your arms up. And then I just have to go sideways to maximize my ceiling height. Urdhva hastasana, raise your arms up. Ideally have them parallel to each other, palms facing each other. If you can't straighten your arms, bring your arms a bit wider apart. Urdhva hastasana is always a good extension after prasarita padottanasana. And then gently release your arms. And then just come down onto your knees. And then have your hands shoulder width apart. Step back, have your feet hip width apart. And then push yourself up into dog down. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Just feel how your dog down is different to the one that we did at the beginning. Partly that is because it's a narrower one in terms of the hands being closer together, the feet being closer together. But don't have the feet too close to the hands. Feel how there is maybe lightness on the inside, rather than perhaps the heaviness that you felt at the beginning. Is there evenness of action? You can't see most of the body, you might be able to see your legs perhaps, but is there evenness of action on the inside? Are the legs working like a mirror image of each other? Get the less willing leg to follow the more willing leg. Are the arms working with as much effort as the legs? Is that effort even? Sometimes you have to ease off a little to determine whether or not it's even. So working with observation, not punishment. Okay, come down onto your knees and then sit back on your heels. Have the big toes together, the knees apart. Just observing your energy, observing how it has changed, observing the lightness of your energy from the inside. And then hinge at the hips. Come forward, stretching forwards into Adho Mukha Virasana. Keeping the seat bones down on the heels, lengthening from the hips into the armpits, into the wrists, into the palms. And then just bring your hands back underneath your shoulders and then push yourself up into virasana. Again, just observing your energy. Just listening to the breath. Come down onto your back and come down into supta baddangulyasana. Just resting your back into the floor. Have the feet as close to the seat bones as you can, and then just guide yourself down onto the floor. Have your hands on your lower ribs and observe the straight line of the floor. Push the heels consciously together so that you can lengthen the sacrum, the area of the back underneath the lumbar. Draw the sacrum away from the lumbar. Draw the sacrum towards the tailbone and turn the tailbone up towards the ceiling so that the lumbar flattens into the ground. So of course the lumbar area of the back is naturally curved as a suspension mechanism for the back, for the spine. But it's nice to just lengthen it out, just to press the lumbar into the floor, to lengthen the sacrum away from the lumbar, to lengthen the tailbone away from the sacrum, drawing the tailbone up to the floor, up to the ceiling. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. And then just gently allow the legs to relax, just using the pose more passively. Just keeping your hands on your lower ribs, observing the physical action of the breath. Observing how the chest and the ribs expand with the inhalation, but also the abdomen expands with the inhalation. And how the abdomen lowers with the exhalation, how the rib cage relaxes with the exhalation. Okay, draw your knees together. Have the knees together, the feet apart. Just again, resting your back into the floor. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. Just a gentle massage on the spine. Roll onto your side and then come up. Just bring yourself up into cross legs for a moment. So half padmasana if you can, or cross legs. Just normal cross legs. If you need to sit on a lift, then do. Just hold onto your knees. Hold onto your knees and feel how the skin connection almost resonates into itself. How there's an energetic connection from the hands into the knees, from the knees into the hands. Observe that you're sitting evenly, and if you're not, then adjust. Just move the buttock flesh out to the side. Aim to sit more evenly. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the right side, just observing the balance of your seat bones, observing the resistance that you felt at the beginning of the session. Does it feel different? Does it feel less or more? Are you more connected? Use each subsequent exhalation to turn a little more deeply. And then come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift up into the chest. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the left. Turn into the left. Drawing the abdomen across. And then come back to the center. Okay, come down onto your back. Have a folded blanket for underneath your head, and then just come down onto the mat, just making sure that you're in a good straight line. Hold on to the edges of the mat, and then just raise your legs in viparita karanhi. So just a gentle inversion. Just listen to the breath. If you struggle to lift the legs, then you can put a bolster underneath your back or a block underneath your sacrum. Otherwise, just elevating the legs up to the ceiling. Listen to the sound of the inhalation and the exhalation. When you look at your legs, are they just kind of hanging in the air like this, or are they doing tadasana? The fronts of the thighs turning inwards. Are you pushing the heels to the ceiling? Are you pulling the toes down towards the floor? Is the sacrum planted firmly on the ground? Okay, and then bend your knees. Bring your feet back down onto the floor, and then stretch your legs out. Just come up onto your elbows. Make sure you're in a really good straight line right down the centre of your mat. And then just align yourself in a good straight line. Just move any equipment out of the way that's in the way, and then release down into the floor. Just allow the body to completely surrender into the straight line of the floor. Consciously unhook the muscles of the arms and the legs. Unhook the muscles of the arms and the legs. And allow the body to completely release into the floor. Feel your energy radiating from the bones and into the muscles. Your energy radiating from the bones and into the muscles. Radiating also into the organs. Radiating from the bones and into the muscles and into the organs, into the flesh and the skin. When you're ready to disturb yourself, just wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, and then bend your knees. Bring your knees in toward your chest. Have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. Gentle massage on the spine. And then gently roll over onto your right side. Just stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just a final cross legs. With your hands in the masti, a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. And conscious of the energy that you have released through your practice. A good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions and the forward bends and the twists and the inversions bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin forwards and down to make contact with your chest. Lifting the chest to make contact with the chin. Be conscious of the energy that you have released around the heart area. And send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then release the backs of your hands down toward your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. A gesture of wisdom, of physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry with us into our day as an intention. And then raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open, and focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel like you've really stretched yourself out, giving yourself lots of good energy to put into your day. So thank you very much for joining me.